This is Steve Long here to talk to you about veneer stone installation. There are building codes which explain how this wall over sheathing is to be constructed. As a homeowner and builder, you need to educate yourself on some basics. If your installations are not designed correctly, you may have a moisture problem, and you will also have a building code violation that will be an issue at resale. Today, what looks like beautiful stonework laid by hand, one on top of another, is actually a plaster wall system over lath. Then the stone is adhered directly to the scratch coat of the plaster, which is also referenced as mortar. Builders use engineered wood for sheathing, such as oriented strand board, OSB, which does not dry as easily as plywood. Couple that with tighter construction practices, higher insulation values, and walls do not dry like they once did. Now we have moisture problems that can be very costly. Let's start with window installation, the weakest point for moisture intrusion. Be sure to have sill pan flashing installed on your windowsill, integrating the flashing over your water-resistant barrier to make sure that water does not migrate under the barrier onto the sheathing. Under a plaster wall system over sheathing, 2 layers of grade D paper must be used. Grade D paper has a minimum vapor permeance of 5 perms. This allows the wall to breathe better. Many house wraps like Tyvek meet grade D requirements. Make sure they state this on their literature before using. Why 2 layers of water-resistant barrier? Because our building code understands that mortar goes through the lath and attaches to the water-resistant barrier and eventually destroys it, allowing moisture to migrate to the interior. Therefore, the first layer is sacrificial. 15-pound and 30-pound felts do not have the testing to be used as a grade D paper. If there is any question, obtain documentation in writing that the material you are using meets grade D testing. ASTM D226 is not to be confused with the term grade D. Jumbo-Tex, made by Fortifiber Corporation, is a grade D asphalt saturated craft paper with a cost comparable to most felts. Keen rain screen is applied after installation of our water-resistant barrier. This drainage mat is not required under the 2006-2009 code, although some states have added this as an addendum to their own code. Rain screen provides a cavity between our water-resistant barrier and plaster. This cavity allows for enhanced drainage and ventilation, providing the wall with an extra level of moisture insurance to ensure that your stone veneer reaches its full life cycle. Now let's talk about weep screed. It is a code violation to run your veneer stone wall below grade. This installation allows moisture from the soil to wick directly into the wood sheathing. The weep screed shall be put into place not less than 1 inch below the sill plate. As illustrated in this mock-up, the water-resistant barrier, rain screen if used, and wire lath come over top of the leg of the weep screed, terminating the wall below the sill plate, but also above grade, allowing moisture accumulated in the wall to exit at the weep. Weep screed shall be applied a minimum 4 inches above grade, 2 inches above paved surfaces. It is acceptable to apply stone below the weep screed directly to the concrete foundation. Approved corrosion-resistant flashings are required by code. One flashing detail that is often missed and extremely important is kickout flashing, installed at wall and roof intersections. Note the damage done on this stucco wall that does not have a kickout flashing in place. The kickout flashing must be integrated correctly with the water-resistant barrier and roofing materials to direct water away from the wall and into the gutter. Mortar coming into direct contact with dissimilar materials such as windows and doors is a code violation. ASTM C926 requires that separation shall be provided where plaster abuts dissimilar construction materials. As discussed earlier, windows are critical areas for moisture intrusion. Easy bead is a casing bead used to separate the plaster from dissimilar materials. A flexible extrusion with a bond breaking tape acts as a spacer and expansion material, as well as a backer for caulking. It is easy to install and allows the installer to be code compliant when building a stone veneer wall. Lath on vertical walls shall be furred and a minimum 2.5 pound galvanized. Self-furred lath meets the furring requirement. Some stone manufacturers and local code officials may require heavier lath. Please check with them for approval. We have listed some basic requirements for stone veneer installation over sheathing, required by the International Residential Code 2006 and 2009 Exterior Plaster section. This should provide you with some important questions regarding what is included with your contractor's installation.